Hello students, today I'm going to teach you trigonometry on the topic trigonometric ratios of specific angles, that is 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, which is there in your textbook exercise 8b. Now, before we start to solve problems, we have to be familiar with this table. Now here in this table, the 6 trigonometric ratios, that is sine, cos, tan, cot, sec and cosec, are given in the vertical column, and the specific angles, that is 0, 30, 45, 60, 90 degree, are given horizontally. Now for example, we want to find the value of sine 60 degree. Now comparing the ratio sine 60 degree, comparing the ratio sine vertically to 60 degree, we find that its value is root 3 by 2. So therefore, the value of sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2. For example, we want to find or know the value of tan 30 degree. Now, with respect to tan, if we compare vertically to 30 degree, we find that tan 30 degree is 1 by root 3. Again, suppose you want the value of sec 45 degree. Now, if we compare the ratio sec with respect to 45 degree, we find that its value is root 2. So therefore, the value of sec 45 degree is root 2. Similarly, if you want cosec 60 degree, now if you compare the ratio cosec with respect to 60 degree, we find that cosec 60 degree, its value is 2 by root 3. So this is how we read the table and find the other ratios as well. Now let us come to the actual problems. For example, the question which says evaluate sine 60 degree, cos 30 degree plus cos 60 degree, sine 30 degree. Now to start with the solution, we have here sine 60 degree. Now if you go to the table, sine 60 degree, if we compare, we find that sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2. So therefore, here for sine 60 degree, we write root 3 by 2. Again, for cos 30 degree, if you go to the table, for cos 30 degree, we find that it is root 3 by 2. So therefore, we write here root 3 by 2. Plus, again, cos 60 degree. Now, if you go to the table for cos 60 degree, if we compare, we find that for cos 60 degree, its value is 1 by 2. So therefore, here for cos 60 degree, we write 1 by 2. Again, for sine 30 degree, if we go to the table, for sine 30 degree, if we go to the table, we find that it is 1 by 2. So therefore, for sine 30 degree, we write here 1 by 2. Now in the next line, we open the bracket. Here, the numerators, root 3 and root 3, if you multiply, we have 3. So we write here 3. Again, the denominators, 2 and 2, if you multiply, we get here 4. Plus, again, the numerators here, 1 into 1, we have 1. So we write here 1. And the denominators, 2 into 2, we get here 4. So we write here 4. In the next line, we have the denominators 4 and 4. If you take the LCM, we have here 4, so we write here 4. Now to complete the first term, this denominator 4, if we divide the LCM here 4, 4, we get 1. So 1, if you multiply the numerator, which is 3, 1 into 3, we have 3, so we write here 3, plus. Similarly, here in the second term, 4, if you divide 4, we have 1, and 1, if you multiply the numerator, which is 1, 1 into 1 is 1. In the next line, we have 3 plus 1 is 4, so we write here 4. Denominator, we have 4. Now, 4 is the common factor, so 4, we cancel 4 times 1 is 4. So therefore, we have the value after evaluation to be equal to 1. Let us look at another question which says evaluate cos 60 degree, cos 30 degree, plus sine 60 degree, sine 30 degree. Now, for the solution, we go to the table to find out the value of cos 60 degree. Now, cos 60 degree here, we find its value to be 1 by 2. So therefore, here for cos 60 degree, we write 1 by 2. Similarly, for cos 30 degree, if we read the table, we find it is root 3 by 2. So we write here root 3 by 2. Plus, again here sine 60 degree, from the table, it is found to be root 3 by 2. So we write here root 3 by 2. For sine 30 degree, its value from the table is 1 by 2, so we write here 1 by 2. Now in the next line we have, now these numerators we multiply together, 1 into root 3, we have root 3, so we write here root 3. Again, the denominators 2 into 2 is 4, so we write here 4, plus. Similarly here, the numerators root 3 into 1, if you multiply, we have root 3, so we write here root 3. Again, the denominators, if we multiply together, 2 into 2, we have here 4, so we write here 4. The next line, we have all the denominators, that is 4 and 4. If you find the LCM, we get 4, so we write here 4. Now, 4, if you divide 4, is 1. Now, that 1, if you multiply the numerator, which is root 3, 1 into root 3, we have root 3, so therefore we write here root 3. Plus, similarly here, 4, if we divide our LCM 4, we get 1. 1 into the numerator, which is root 3, 1 into root 3, again we get here root 3. Next line we have this root 3 and root 3 are similar terms, so therefore root 3 and root 3, if we plus together, we have 2 root 3. Below the denominator, we have 4. So therefore, we have 2 root 3 by 4. Now, these rational numbers, 2 and 4, we have a common factor, 2, so we cancel this. 2 times 2 is 4. So therefore, in the next line, we have root 3 by 2. Let us look at this question. It says, evaluate sine square 30 degree plus sine square 45 degree plus sine square 60 degree. Now, for the solution, now here, sine 30 degree, from the table, we find that it is 1 by 2. So we write here 1 by 2. But here in this question, we have sine square. So therefore, we have here 1 by 2 whole thing square. Plus, again, sine 45, if we find from the table, it is 1 by root 2. But since here it is sine square, so we have 1 by root 2 whole thing square. Plus, sine 60 degree, if you look from the table, it is root 3 by 2. So we write here root 3 by 2. But here we have square, that is sine square. So therefore we have root 3 by 2 whole thing square. It is equal to, now in the next line, we open up the bracket. 1, if you square in the numerator, we have 1. And 2, if you square from the denominator, we have 4. So we have 1 by 4. Plus, again here 1, if you square, we have 1. Root 2, if you square, we have 2. So we have here 2. Plus, again root 3, if you square, we have 3. So we write here 3. And the denominator 2, if you square, we have 4. So we write here 4. In the next line, we have 4, 2, and 4. If you find the LCM, we have 4. So we write here 4. Now for the first term, 4, if you divide 4, we have 1. 1 into the numerator, that is 1, again we get here 1, plus 2, if we divide this 4, we have 2. Now 2 into the numerator 1, we have 2, so we write here 2, plus again 4, if you divide 4, we have 1. Now 1, if you multiply the numerator, that is 3, 1 into 3, we get 3, so therefore we write here 3. It is equal to, now all the numerators 1, 2, and 3, if you add together, we have 6, so we get here 6. Below we have 4. Now we have 2 as a common factor for the numerator and the denominator. So cancelling, we have 2, 3, so 6, and 2 2s are 4. So in the end, we have 3 by 2. Now in this next question, we are to evaluate 2 cot square 60 degree plus 3 sine square 30 degree plus 2 cos square 90 degree. Now to start with the solution, we write down this 2 here, 2, and cot 60 degree from the table, it is found to be 1 by root 3. So we write here 1 by root 3. Since we have here cot square, so we write 1 by root 3 whole thing square. Plus, again here we have 3, so we write down that 3. Now sine 30 degree from the table, it is found to be 1 by 2, so we write here 1 by 2. Since it is sine square, so we have 1 by 2 whole thing square. Plus, again 2, we write here 2. Now cos 90 degree, if we check from the table, we'll find that it is equal to 0. So cos 90 degree, we write here 0. But since we have here cos square, so we have here 0 square. Now it is equal to 2. First, we square out these bracket. 1 if you square, we have 1. Again, root 3 if you square, we have 3. So we get here 1 by 3 plus 3. Again, here if you square out the bracket, 1 if you square, we have 1. Again, 2 if you square, we have 4. So we have here 1 by 4 plus. Now here we have 0. So everything multiplied by 0 is 0. So therefore we have here everything to be 0. It is equal to, now we multiply inside the bracket since this is the numerator. So 2 into 1 is 2. So we write here 2. Again, denominator we have 3 plus. Again here 3 into 1 is 3. Denominator we have 4. So we have here 3 by 4 plus 0. So we don't have to show it anymore. Now it is equal to, in the next line, and 3 and 4, the denominators, if you take the LCM, we have 12. Now for the first, taking the first term, 3, if you divide is 12, 3 times 4 is 12, so 4 we get 4. 4 into 2 is 8, so we write here 8. Plus, again 4, if you divide 12, we have 3. Now 3 into the numerator 3, we get 9, so we write here 9. So it is equal to 17 by 8 plus 9 is 17, so we get here 17 by 12. Now here we have to evaluate this. 4 by cot square 30 degree plus 1 by sine square 60 degree minus cos square 45 degree. Now for the solution, as usual, 4 by, since cot 30 degree is root 3, so we write here root 3 because we have cot square here, so root 3 whole thing square. Plus again 1 by, now sine square 60 degree is root 3 by 2 from the table, so we write here root 3 by 2. But we have sine square, so we write here whole thing square minus. Again, cos 45 from the table, it's found to be 1 by root 2, so we write here root 2 whole thing. Since cos square, we write here whole thing square. It is equal to, now opening up this, simplifying, we have 4, root 3 if you square is 3, so we write here 3 plus. Again here 1 by. Now this root 3, if you square, we have 3, so we get here 3. And 2 if you square, we have 4, so we have here 3 by 4 minus. Similarly here, 1 if you square, we have 1, so we write here 1. Root 2 if you square, we have 2, so we write here 2. It is equal to, in the next line, we write 4 by 3 plus. Now this 4, we multiply with the numerator up. 4 into 1 is 4. Below you have 3, So we have here 4 by 3 minus 1 by 2. In the next line, we have 3, 3, and 2. If we take the LCM, we have 6. So we write here 6. Now 3, if you divide 6, we get 2. 2 into the numerator 4, we have 8. So we write here 8 plus. Again, here 3, if you divide 6, we get 2. Now 2, if you multiply the numerator 4, we get 8. So we write here 8 minus. Here again, 2, if you divide 6, we have 3. 3 into the numerator, which is 1. 3 into 1 is 3, so we write here 3. So in the end, we have 8 plus 8 to be 16 minus 3 is 13, so we get here 13 by 6. Next question, we are to evaluate this sine 45 degree, cosec 30 degree plus sec 60 degree, tan 45 degree, minus 5 sine 90 degree, 2 cos 0 degree. Now for the solution, we find out the values from the table. For sine 45, we have 1 by root 2, so we write here 1 by root 2. For cosec 30 degree is 2, so we write here 2. Plus, again here from the table, sec 60 degree is 2, so we write here 2. And tan 45 is 1, so we write here 1. Minus, again 5 sine 90 degree. Now 5, since sine 90 degree from the table is 1, so we write here 1. Again, here 2 cos 0 degree. For 2 cos 0 degree from the table is 1, so we have here 2 into 1. It is equal to, now this portion here, the first term here is 1 by root 2 divided by 2. This means 1 by root 2 we have to divide by 2, but this 2 is in numerator. Denominator we have 1. Now this division, if we change into multiplication, it becomes 1 by root 2 into 1 by 2. So therefore, 2 into root 2 is 2 root 2, so we get here 2 root. That's why we write here 2 root 2. And the numerator 1 into 1 is 1, so we write here 1. Plus, it's the same 2 by 1, minus, here 5 into 1 is 5, 2 into 1 is 2, so we still have here 5 by 2. It is equal to, now in the next line, 2 root 2, 1 and 2, if you find the LCM, we have 2 root 2. Now to complete the first term, 2 root 2, if you divide 2 root 2, we will get 1. 1 into the numerator, which is 1, is again 1. Plus, here, now, second term, 1 if you divide 2 root 2, we will get 2 root 2. Now that 2 root 2, if we multiply the numerator, which is 2, we get here 4 root 2. Minus, again here 2, if we divide 2 root 2, we'll have root 2. Now that root 2, if we multiply the numerator 5, we have 5 root 2. Therefore, in the next line, we have 1. Now 4 root 2 and 5 root 2 are similar terms. So if we combine plus 4 and minus 5, we have 1. That means we have minus root 2. Denominator, we have 2 root 2. So this is all about specific angles, and you can kindly go through your exercise 8B of your textbook to learn further. So that's all for now. Thank you.